Hi everybody, Lilac here, and I wanted to go ahead and record this mostly for me, but also to those who are either entering college, graduating college, or are in the middle of college. Hi, my name's Lilac, or well, that's my YouTube name, but I'm here to go ahead and tell you my journey of my college experience. In the beginning, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And that is something that is completely normal, especially for those who are now getting into college and want to really know what they want to do in life. And I'm not gonna lie, all of that can change the minute you step into the college or university that you're going to go to. And that's the case for me. I ended up going to Miami University of Oxford in Ohio, and that's where I did my first 2 years of college. And during that time, I thought that I wanted to go the vet tech route and work with animals. And that was the plan during those 2 years, is to take any sort of sciences I can and get all my requireds that I needed. Now, one thing that I will say for those who are entering into college is that to save money, definitely go to your branch campuses and get all of your general education requirements taken care of. That's going to be by far the easiest thing for you to do. Not only will you have smaller classes, but you'll also be saving money for you to either transfer to another college or university, or possibly move on to main campus of your chosen university or college. Now, during this time, I learned so much about not only myself, but what college really was like. Because I will tell you this, college will never be easy. And it's supposed to be like that. Some classes will be easier than others, but one thing for sure is as long as you show up to your classes on time, you do the work, and you put the effort in and make connections to your professors, you will succeed. That is what I learned during my time at Miami. Now, through this time, I also learned a couple other things. I learned how to connect with others, learn how to do teamwork better. I learned so much through certain classes that made me a better public speaker, one who won't trip over words. I learned how to make presentations, and I learned how to make papers where everything flows so nicely. And during this time, I also learned about myself. I learned what I truly want to do when I grow up, and what specific degree I want. And for those of you who are in college, some of you might already know what degree you're in, some of you are just getting your associates, and some of you are just getting certifications. That's all fine and dandy. What I did is, through my general education requirements, I went ahead and looked at every single possibility of degrees you can ever get. And for me, I've always had a passion with agriculture. Even though I'm from the city, I've always loved going to farms. I've always loved being around animals. But most importantly, I've always loved getting my hands dirty. And because of that, I went ahead and decided to go the agriculture route, which is so much different than the veterinarian route, which is what I originally wanted to do. Because I wanted to be a nutritionist. And when looking at agriculture, I first of all immediately knew that it was going to be very hard to get into, which is why I also directly put in a specific branch of agriculture to which I decided to go the business route, which will lead me to many other opportunities as well as different chances that I can get. And with this degree, I can do anything from agriculture all the way to business. I can do almost anything. And after my 2 years of Miami, I decided that I'm going to go ahead and follow through with this plan. I looked up multiple universities and colleges, and that's when I found where I am right now, Wilmington College in Ohio. And here, when I transferred, I didn't really know anything about agriculture in general. I just knew that you can plant things in the ground and sooner or later you will have a harvest to where you can eat off of it for days, even months if you do the right thing, as well as basic animal care and basic knowledge of agriculture as a whole. Now, when I first transferred to Wilmington, it was not easy. I basically had to restart fresh. And this can sometimes be hard, especially leaving those you've made connections to. And through this, I ended up making many more connections, as well as a relationship with my professors to where I can go and talk to them about almost anything. So if you're in college, make sure you're almost there with your professors every chance you get, because not only are they going to help you in the long run, but they will support you in anything and everything. And even if you don't have the same professors every single semester, that's okay, because if you build a connection and you continue to talk to them even after you left their class, it is such a great thing. And after my first semester at Wilmington, I've learned more about myself, as well as what areas I can improve in and what areas I can continue to grow with. Through this, it brings me to my next point that I'm going to talk to you guys about for those who are in college now. Building connections in college. This is the one thing that I think every single professor, every single academic advisor, and practically almost every person in college right now is having connections with everyone and anyone you meet, because you never know if you're going to be working for them or if they're going to be working for you. But they are going to be there one way or another to help support you and grow you, which is why these connections are so important. And another thing with those who are in college is that college is supposed to grow you and prepare you for the future. And sometimes the first step is living in this tiny building, in this tiny little room called a dorm room. Now, some of you might be in apartments and everything, and I'm not gonna lie, shout outs to you, but the way that I went through with Wilmington College, I basically had to stay in a dorm. And I'm not gonna lie, dorm life is not specifically for me. It's not that I don't appreciate it, it's more of the fact of dorm life can give you a couple different things. One, it could give you a best friend for life. And two, there's not really much you can do within the room. Now, I was lucky enough to have a dorm room by myself. And through this, I actually ended up doing so much more things than what I ever thought I was going to do with a roommate. And this is inviting people over for game nights or doing something very nice for others that are in my hall, making little meals and stuff. within my own room. It's the little things that really make the dorm room your home. And that's exactly what I did here. Now my room is really bare, and that's mainly because I'm moving out tomorrow. But also, I'm sorry if I'm saying but, and that's because this video is not going to be cut or anything like that, because I want this to be a true, raw feeling. And now I'm going to go ahead and talk to my fellow graduates. And I'm not going to lie. From the time this video gets put up, my graduation will probably be in a few days. And when am I recording this? I'm recording this on a Tuesday night, and my graduation is this Saturday. So it's coming upon us. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared for the future. I first of all want to preface that yes, I'm graduating, but I do not have a job or anything lined up after college. And I will say this one thing, I am all right with that, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to continue looking for jobs and looking for ways to continue to grow myself, or finding a place where I know I'll belong. With this being said, my fellow graduates, I had a dinner tonight where it was all of the ag students from our seminar class getting together, going in the past, remembering the good times, remembering the bad times, but most importantly, remembering that even though we're graduating, that doesn't mean that we're leaving this place forever. This means that the memories that we made here are always going to be here, and they're always going to be with us. And I'm going to talk about one memory that I know for a fact that I will never forget. And that was when I ended up going with one of my professors and a couple other people to SACES. Now, if you don't know what SACES is, then you're probably not within an ag college, but SACES basically is a agronomy competition place where you get to know what to do with soil judging, crop judging, along with so many other things. And during this trip, we only had about 4 days, 2 days of competition and 2 days of free days. Now, after the competition, me and one of my friends decided to walk around the city where we were located at night, and we dragged our professor along because we knew that he was probably going to be the only one that was going to be awake. And so as we're going around, we're going crazy, we're having a good time, we're talking to each other, we're talking with our professor, we're just communicating as if there wasn't pressure on us or anything like that. And through this, we ended up getting a little too crazy to where my professor thought that me and my friend were drunk, even though both of us did not drink alcohol at all, nor do we actually like the taste of it. So, and he knew that, but he considered that we were just too crazy to where we, I guess, acted drunk. And this was probably the best memory that I think I've ever had here at Wilmington College. Now, my best memory of me being at Miami, that would be through my theater program that I ended up going through. I was a technician, and it was very fun. But another thing is that with Miami, I don't think this was intentional, but I ended up helping out with so many other classes that I wasn't even in, just for the fact that other people who were in it that were in other that were in my other classes said, hey, we're going to be doing this. And I basically was like, hey, give me your professor's information because I think I can help with this. And I would end up doing so much for that class to where people assumed that I was a part of the class, even though I wasn't. And even then, that transferred over into Wilmington College because even here, I would be a assistant teacher for a class time. And it's things like this to where I can look back and remember so many happy times. And that's one thing where to remember the good times as you're graduating and going back 4 years is very heartfelt. And one thing that we talked about during this dinner is it's never goodbye, because the connections you make, you're always going to be able to connect to them in any way, shape, or form. And you're always going to want to come back for certain events from your colleges because you're now going to be an alumni. And coming upon graduation, the future is scary, yes. But knowing that you got through probably one of the more tougher times is such an amazing achievement that you almost can't have fear of the future, but have hope for the future. But also leave your mark to where others from your classes, your professors will always have something to mark you by, but also let others who are coming into colleges know about. And for my final words of wisdom is never give up on your dreams, but also don't give up on yourself. Because there were many times where I, during my college journey, said, this is too hard, this is not for me. But I never gave up because I know that there's a goal in the end and that it was going to help me achieve my future goals. And I've built so many connections here to where it's going to be hard to leave them behind. And I am so proud of myself to not only get through the last finals that I had, but also to know that I will be leaving my mark with friends that I made as underclassmen. And I will always be there to support them, as well as to support my own college. To know that things are possible, but I will never be leaving this place as a whole. So, to those who are graduating, congratulations. To those who are entering college, congratulations. To those who are in college right now, you've got this. Do not give up. Things might be hard and you might be giving up on yourself, but just know that there are so many people who are going to be right by your side to get you through the college journey. And my last thing before I go is that this isn't a goodbye, because I started this channel back when I was a junior in high school, and now I'm graduating college, and this is not goodbye, but this is going to be the start of a new future, and I'm excited for it. And I am hoping to continue to produce videos that are kind of like this one, in order to help those who are struggling with classes, struggling with themselves, and most importantly, wanting somebody to cheerlead them on throughout the times. And I'm going to be that person for you guys. So if you want to, in the comments section, feel free to let me know what kind of topics that we can do discussions on, what kind of classwork that you are doing that I can help you with and teach you with, because that is one of the biggest strengths that I think most of my professors have said, is that I am a great teacher, even though that's not where I'm actually going within my education realm. But I am willing to help you guys in any way, shape, or form if you are in college. If you're in high school, I will continue to do that as well. But just know that the journey of life is never easy, but there are going to be so many people who are going to help you in the long run. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And congratulations to my fellow graduates who are going to be graduating this May. And in the end, this is Lilac, signing out. Bye, guys.